What's good, Commanders fans? It feels weird saying that. Hope everybody had a good weekend, but of course, just wanted to talk about Russell Wilson. That's the talk of the town today. On Team 980, per Kevin Sheehan, he said Russell Wilson is not against coming to Washington. So he did say that Washington he would not be opposed to coming to Washington. So remember last year when Russell Wilson made that list of teams, if I were to be traded, these are the teams that I would go to. It's kind of like being in a relationship and saying, if I was not in a relationship with you, these are the ladies that I would be with. That's the kind of vibes that Russell Wilson gave me last year when he gave the Seahawks that list, which is very interesting, to say the least. But of course, we saw the pictures with Jonathan Allen at the Pro Bowl. John Allen and his fiance or wife. I don't know if she's his wife or his fiance. Forgive me for that. But and Russell Wilson and Sierra, they took pictures together. So Kevin Sheehan is saying that he heard from multiple sources that were down in Las Vegas. I want to say the Pro Bowl was in Vegas. I didn't watch the Pro Bowl at all, but they said that he heard from multiple people saying that Russell Wilson would not be opposed to coming to Washington. So maybe John Allen might have recruited him. I know a lot of people are going to say, why would Russell want to come here? Especially with the allegations from Dan Snyder that we heard on Friday, I want to say, or Thursday, whatever that stuff came out. But hey, this is good news. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not going to jump up and down on the table and be excited and be happy and whatnot. But this is significant news. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Of course, we have to make the trade to get him here and offer the Seahawks. The Seahawks have to be enticed to send Russell Wilson to Washington. We have to give him a lot of picks or whatnot. And I'll get into that later in the video. But this is definitely some traction. So Kevin Sheehan, to talk about his sources and what he has said before in the past. Now, I do remember him saying that Washington was interested in getting Justin Fields last year, which was a fact that did come out to be true. John Keim reported the same thing. So multiple sources said that. So where there's smoke, there's fire with that. So I will take Kevin Sheehan's word for what it's worth. I do believe that he is telling the truth on this. I don't think he's just fabricating and making this up because he's putting his name out there to this news. This news is probably going to get a little bit bigger and may get to the national media. We'll see. But we got some traction here. I'm not getting my hopes up, but like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. Ron Rivera, there's the report from Chad Ryan also saying that, and I think he worked with the Washington football team as well. He covers the Washington football team. He said that Washington is going to be heavily trying to get Russell Wilson this offseason. So, of course, the rumors, Albert Breer and a lot of people reported that Washington is going to make a big swing for either Aaron Rodgers, either Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, etc. All the big name quarterbacks, hopefully not Jimmy G. All the big three of Russell Wilson, Deshaun, Aaron Rodgers, and I do like Derek Carr. I do like Derek Carr a lot. If he becomes available, we'll see. Ron Rivera is going to be making a big swing. Michael Silver wrote that article about guys, Russell Wilson with the wife that's a singer, Aaron Rodgers with the wife that's an actor, Derek Carr, who is from a party city in Las Vegas. So Ron Rivera's best buddy, Mike Silver, who works for the Washington football team, also wrote an article as well. So, but yeah, you look at Russell Wilson, man. You look at the contract numbers too. If we do acquire Russell Wilson, his contract will be 2 years, $51 million, $0 guaranteed with a roster bonus of $5 million. This is from SpotTrack. Cap hits of $24 million and $27 million if the deal is done before March 20th. So most likely we would get the deal done before March 20th because free agency is March 16th. So we want to get our quarterback in line before free agency comes so, we can get other guys, and we do have the cap space to acquire a guy like a Russell Wilson. We definitely do. We have the fifth most or third most cap space. I want to say $61 million available in cap space. So money is not that big of a problem. And bringing in Russell Wilson, it would attract other free agents as well, guys that come in. It would make Terry McLaurin better, De'Ami Brown a lot better. It would just make everything a lot better, of course. So you look at Russ's numbers, you already know what it is. Now, I do get the argument. I get the argument of people saying Russell Wilson is washed up. I don't think he's washed up, but you look at how he played this past year. And he didn't play that great. Now, he did have the finger injury. So you look at some of the games. The game against us did really concern me. When I watched Russ play against us on Monday Night Football, he didn't look good. He threw a lot of passes. He overthrew a lot of guys. He was very inaccurate. And losing to Taylor Heineke is not a good look at all. We won that game 17-15. But you look at some of the games towards the end of the year, at the end of the season, where they did beat the Cardinals in Arizona. They won 38-30. He was 15 for 16, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. And he did look a lot better. You know, you look at the Bears game, he struggled in that game too. 16 for 27, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But had a QBR of 30. So he definitely had some stinkers. The Rams game and the Green Bay game where they played at Green Bay where they lost 17-0. He was 20 for 40. And he did lose to Colt McCoy as well, 14 for 26, 207 yards. So he's not, I'm not going to say he's on a decline, but he's getting old. He's 34 years old, which is still relatively young for a quarterback, especially these days. You see quarterbacks playing until they're 40, 39, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Guys are playing until they're older. So I think he would be fine. Seeing him in a Commanders jersey, playing for Washington, you know, we got to get some, you know, attendance is terrible. One way to get attendance up would definitely be getting Russell Wilson in DC for sure. So, but you look how he finished. The last couple of games, he played a lot better. The Cardinals game, 15 for 26, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Detroit, they beat the Lions, who were terrible, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 20 for 29. So some of those games did concern me after the finger injury, but before that, he was okay. They were 2 for 2. So obviously, he would be the best quarterback in the NFC East. So me, in my opinion, I would definitely make the trade 10 times out of 10. 9-time Pro Bowler, future Hall of Famer, all that. I mean, you already know what Russell Wilson does, man. Second team All-Pro in 2019, and he's a good guy, Super Bowl champion. So we already know what Russ can do. He can extend plays, he can run, dual threat quarterback, basically what Ron Rivera is looking for in a guy, stand-up leader guy, which fits Ron Rivera's culture. You know how Russell Wilson is. You know, he's a great guy, Walter Payton Man of the Year award and stuff like that. So he would definitely fit what Ron Rivera is looking for, especially with a rebrand, roll him out in the Commanders jersey. It would get a lot of fans in the seat. Like I said, he would be the best quarterback in the NFC East. He's a top 10 quarterback. He'd be the best quarterback in the NFC East by far, for sure. And a third place schedule, I say no less than 10 wins if we get Russell Wilson in DC, to be honest with you. You make Terry McLaurin better, De'Ami Brown better. He would just unlock a lot of that for those guys. So let's talk about trade compensation here. I've seen a lot of mock trades. I think it would have to start with 3 first-round picks. I made my video about taking a big swing at a quarterback, and a lot of people were like, 3 first-round picks, that's too much. But you guys got to understand, man. They're not going to give up Russell Wilson for 1 first-round pick or 2 first-round picks or a first and a third. We're not talking about Matt Stafford. He's better than Matt. He's better than Matt Stafford. He's just as good and better than Matt Stafford. You got to look what the Rams did. You cannot be scared. Money don't make any money. Look what Sean McVay did. A young, innovative head coach trades for Jalen Ramsey, trades for Von Miller, trades for Matt Stafford, and signs Odell Beckham. So you got to take swings, man. You cannot be conservative like we've seen Ron Rivera do in the past. Ron Rivera's learning now that if you want to be all this, we can't mortgage the future and all this stuff that he was saying last year, you're going to have to there will be no future for Ron Rivera if he doesn't mortgage the future, in my opinion. If he wants to keep all his picks and play it safe and draft a quarterback and then sign a free agent quarterback or just trade a second or a third round pick for Jimmy G and not mortgage the future, then he won't be here much longer. And I'm being serious about it. He will not be here much longer if we don't get a quarterback this year. Now, if we strike out, it is what it is, but you got to at least try to make an attempt to get Russell Wilson. You got to try to get Aaron Rodgers. You got to try to get Deshaun Watson. You got to try to get Derek Carr. You got to try to get one of these guys in DC. So Russell Wilson would be a huge upgrade. I get the argument, people saying he's Donovan McNabb 2.0, but Donovan McNabb, you can see he was kind of declining at that time. And it was kind of skeptical that an NFC East team like the Eagles was trading a Donovan McNabb. You got to be wary about that, especially Andy Reid trading to the Washington Redskins at that time. Andy Reid, he's a slick guy. He tries to trade guys to us all the time and just fool us, basically. But this would be Russell Wilson forcing his way out because you can kind of tell he doesn't really want to be there. You kind of tell. And you look at the Pro Bowl when he was throwing those passes, the finger looked good, man. He was throwing the ball right in the breadbasket on that little competition, on that little drill. So you look at some of the mock trades. I see one that says 3 firsts, a 2nd round pick, and Montez Sweat. In my opinion, I think that might be a little too much. But honestly, this defense, and I love this defense. I love Montez. I would not trade Montez. If I had to start the trade offer table, if I get on the phone with Pete Carroll or whoever the Seahawks GM is, I'd be like, hey, we'll trade you anybody except for Chase Young, Terry McLaurin, John Allen, Montez Sweat, and guys like that. If you want to have Daron Payne, sure, you can have him and 3 first round picks of Daron Payne. If you want that, sure, you can have that ASAP. But you can't have Terry. You can't have you just can't have Terry on offense. Those are the people you can't have on offense. Is Terry. That's it, really. And then on defense, I'll be like, hey, yeah, you can't have Chase right now. You can't have Montez. but you can't have John Allen, who was a Pro Bowler, of course, almost all Pro. But you can have, like I said, you can have Daron Payne, to be honest with you. Daron Payne's good, but honestly, you look at this defense, they underwhelmed last year, and I'm more of the way we need to just get our quarterback and see where we go from there. Because you look at the playoffs, you look at the regular season, you just need top quarterback play to win. And you look at the rest of the NFC, Tom Brady retired, Drew Brees retired last year. So a lot of the quarterbacks in the NFC are not there. A lot of the good quarterbacks are really in the AFC. The best quarterbacks you see right now is Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, and he might go to the AFC with the Broncos. Everybody else is like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes. All those guys in the AFC. You got Kyler Murray, who's a good quarterback, but he hasn't really been past. He just got to the playoffs this year. So this would be for the taking. Third place NFC schedule, third place schedule next year. Russell Wilson at the quarterback against the NFC East. We could definitely dominate next year with Russell Wilson as the quarterback. So my trade offer would be 3 first-round picks and Daron Payne, because I know the Seahawks, they're gonna want a lot for Russell Wilson because he still has a lot left in the tank. So you guys let me know what you guys think, man. Russell Wilson, this year the year before he had 40 touchdowns and 13 picks. 40 touchdowns and 13 picks. This past year, 25 touchdowns, 6 picks. Kind of had a down year. The year before, in 2019, he had 31 touchdowns and 6 picks. 2018, 35 touchdowns, 7 picks. I mean, he would be the best quarterback we've had in the past, 30 years. He'd probably be the best quarterback we've had since Mark Rippey and Joe Theismann. So it's been a long time, and we need a quarterback. So I think Ron Rivera, he would love to have some Russell Wilson for sure. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. Not getting my hopes up, and we'll see. All right, you guys. Hell of a football team. Peace.